Marston's Domain.
Hey everyone, Marston here, and today I want to do an analysis on King K. Rool. So I originally was going to do this with frame data, but the videos that were provided aren't in 60 FPS, and things can change before the game is fully released, so I'm not going to go through frame data right now. When more things come out, then it'll be different, so there won't be frame data, but I'm going to be going over moves. I did this with my friend Doughboy, and I'll have a link in the description on where you can find him. He's going to be a Ridley and Dark Samus enthusiast, and he knows a lot about Smash Bros as well. So me and him did look through frame data, but again, the trailers are in 30 FPS, and I know that you can just kind of double the frames, but things are going to change before the game's fully released. So me and him kind of concluded that it's not worth going through right now, but I am going to go over every single thing that we can take from both trailers that we got, because there's the initial trailer and then there's the character snapshot type trailer. So I'm going to start with the trailer that revealed King K. Rool first. So the first thing that you see is him landing on the stage, and then he does one of his taunts. The next scene you see him with his blunderbuss, which works similarly to how it would in Donkey Kong Country 2. However, there was one thing about it where he shoots the cannonball and then he sucks in Kirby, and I was under the impression that you had to shoot the cannonball first before you could suck in, and which, by the way, this is definitely a B move. Whether it's neutral B or side B, I don't know, and that's only because of something else that I'm going to point out later in the trailer. But initially, I thought that you'd have to shoot the cannonball before you could actually suck in, and I believe it was Doughboy that brought up that maybe you hold the button to do one or the other, and at first I didn't think so, but now I'm starting to think so, because even though both clips of him using the blunderbuss shows him shooting the projectile first and then sucking in, I have a strong feeling that if you just tap the button, the projectile comes out, but if you hold the button, then he sucks in. Because it wouldn't really make too much sense that you would have to always shoot the cannonball first to then suck in, because that would kind of eliminate a lot of possibilities for the move. It would really limit the move. So I have a feeling that it's you tap the button, it shoots the projectile, you hold the button, and you can suck in with it. Because we also never see the cannonball actually land, so it really wouldn't make sense that you could only suck in after you shoot it. The next clip we see him running and then doing a dash attack. And the thing to note about this dash attack is that it definitely has armor on it, because Little Mac's move does not go through. King K. Rool just goes right through Little Mac. And Little Mac's hitbox definitely came out. You can clearly see that he actually hit K. Rool, but K. Rool just goes through him anyway. And then I was a little bit worried because it looks like there's a ton of end lag on it, but I actually don't think so, because Doughboy brought up that it actually probably similar to King Dedede's dash attack, because I had realized that I thought the end was like a hitbox, and that's where Doughboy said it's probably like King Dedede's dash attack. So I think it does share elements from King Dedede in terms of at the end of the dash attack, because there's no way that there's just that much end lag. I just don't believe it. For a dash attack, that would be insane. So there's definitely a hitbox at the end of it as well, when he lands on his stomach. And then once he gets up, he does one of his taunts. So I believe we know all of his taunts, because I'll go over the last one when we get to it. Because there's the foot stomp, and then there's the one that we just saw. And then here you can see him using what's clearly going to be his up B, which is the propeller or helicopter jetpack thing from Donkey Kong Country 3. And honestly, I think this recovery is really good. I have a feeling there's no hitbox. There could possibly be. I could maybe picture it at startup, or maybe if you touch the top of the propeller, it would be a hitbox. But either way, it looks like he has a lot of mobility with it, which is really good. And then in the next part, you can see K. Rool's grab, and he does an up throw, which may possibly be able to combo into things, because if you look at the way Mewtwo launches off of K. Rool when he lands, there is some end lag because he does that like laughing animation, but I think it may still be possible to combo into it. The laughing animation kinda, I don't know, it's tough to say, but I don't think they would have it to, unless if they really just got rid of throw combos in general for almost all characters, because I know they got rid of kill throw options for Donkey Kong and Bowser, but if he honestly laughs so long that he can't do anything off of it, I would be surprised. So this one is a little bit too hard to tell, but I think that there is the potential of being able to combo off of it. And then in the next clip, it would be easy to say that he has the worst grab ever, because it's clearly a grab that he's doing, but if you watch the clip, I'm fairly certain that all that's happening here is Villager on his neutral B actually has invincibility frames. So I think that they just timed it to where Villager has his invincibility frames when King K. Rool actually goes to grab, because there is no way that his grab is actually this bad. Like, his hand is literally like touching Villager. There's no way his grab is that bad. So they just timed it just for comedic effect, because Villager's grabbing bananas, and as we all know, King K. Rool always steals Donkey Kong's bananas. So that's all that's happening there. And in general, I think his grab actually looks semi-decent, because it actually does go pretty far. It's a pretty big swipe. And then you can see him running after, which his run I thought at first seemed kind of slow, but now I don't think it's that bad. And he also has a lower profile, which is always good. And then in the next clip, you can see him doing part of what I believe is an up tilt. Where the up tilt actually starts is hard to say, but it's gotta be an up tilt. And then with his down B, it's a counter. And the interesting thing about his counter is that it actually lasts for a while. I know that it's not always good to go off of these early trailers because things can change, but the active frames on this counter seem to last for a good amount of frames. So that's really, really good for a heavy character. I never really would have pictured a heavy having a counter, so this is pretty big, honestly. And then in the next clip, you can see how K. Rool starts the match, because he already has his arms crossed, so he's clearly falling as the match starts, and he keeps his arms crossed, so clearly this isn't a taunt. This is how he starts when he begins the battle. And then in this next clip, me and Doughboy analyzed this for a while, because we were looking through and seeing when Bowser's F smash would actually start, and the conclusion that we came up with is that Bowser does have invincibility frames on his forward smash, so we think that the reason why it just sits for a while and nothing happens is because K. Rool is actually hitting his invincibility frames, and then it ends up going to the actual hitbox. But either way, K. Rool definitely has armor on his forward smash, because he should have started getting hit. If our frame counts were correct, he should have been getting hit, and nothing happens to him. He just stays in place, and Bowser ends up being the one that gets launched. So with a mix of Bowser's invincibility frames and K. Rool's armor and when his hitbox actually starts, all of that into play adds up to what happens in the scene. So we believe that K. Rool has armor on his forward smash. And his forward smash is actually really good because it starts up faster than Bowser's, and the end lag is actually better than Bowser's from what we had looked at. And again, frame data, it's too early to tell these things because things could change, but that's just what we were able to come up with. And then in the next clip, you can see him throwing his crown, which this is where I was saying earlier how I don't know if the blunderbuss is a neutral B or side B. This is why, because this is either the neutral B or side B. And the thing with this move is I think there's a few frames where you can't move, where you're throwing the crown, but I think once you're past that, you can do whatever you want. And I think they'll only show the animation of him catching his crown if you're actually just standing in place. Doughboy brought up that it probably acts similarly to how Link's boomerang works, and I agree. So moving on to the next trailer, the little snippet snapshot trailer thing that they do for every character, we can see his last taunt that he has, which is him just chomping in the air. And then in the next clip, we can see him do his run for a little bit, and then he jumps in the air and does a forward air, and his forward air looks really good because it looks like Bowser's back air. So to me, it just looks like a really strong forward air. And then we see him using his up B, and this is where I noticed that it looks like it can maneuver well, because he starts to move backwards a little bit as he's going up. So I think you'll be able to control it decently well. And then we see him throwing his crown again, which is where you can see that he can definitely move around at some point. There's no way that he's just stuck in place. You definitely can move around. One thing that Doughboy brought up is that maybe you'll be able to angle how you throw it, but my gut feeling says that they won't do that because in DKC, he just throws it horizontally. Not to say that that definitely means that's how it's going to be, but I have a feeling that they're going to go more in line with that game, so I have a feeling it does only go horizontally. The only thing that I notice now, though, is that maybe if you hold the button longer, kind of like how you can do like the smash side B with Diddy Kong, and he'll go further. Maybe you can do the smash version of this and the crown will go further, but there's a chance that it's just a fixed distance. And one other thing that I actually forgot to mention is that at the end of the reveal trailer, they show King K. Rool crawl away, which is good because that means he actually has a crawl. And then he comes back and does what I believe to be a down smash. And the down smash looks really good because the frame data seems decent and it puts the opponent in the ground. So I'm thinking you can do down smash into forward smash, which would be really, really good considering his forward smash seems very good. So that's everything I was able to pull from the 2 trailers. It'll be interesting to see what other moves he has because a lot of people are already saying that King K. Rool looks like he'll be bad, and I'm going to be honest, for a moment when I watched some of the stuff on K. Rool, I had that feeling too, where I thought, maybe K. Rool won't be too good in this game. But after rewatching a lot of this stuff, his run doesn't seem bad to me anymore. For some reason, I thought his run seemed slow, but I don't think his run is actually that slow. I think it's just hard to gauge all of these things off of these short clips, and we also don't know all of his other moves. Because Doughboy had brought up with Ridley could have come off as bad as well until they showed off all the moves that he's able to do. With Ridley, we've seen so much footage of him, it's clear to tell that yes, he actually has options in terms of different situations in the game. Whereas K. Rool right now, we only know so few moves, it's easy to just write him off as bad. Because it's like, oh, he's got those few projectiles and these few other moves, he's probably not that good. But we don't know how fast his nair is, his up air is, we don't know if there is throw combos. There's a lot of things about him that we don't know yet. So I think it's way too early to say that he's just bad. I don't think he's bad. I don't picture him being a top tier. But again, who knows? We really don't know his other moves and his frame data. And again, things could change before the game comes out. They can make the frame data on the moves that we've seen now even better when the game comes out. So I think it's way too early to tell. And I just wanted to make this video to talk about the things that I was able to pick out now. And I'll definitely be doing more as soon as more footage comes out. So that's all I really have to say about this. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about all this. Do you plan to main him? Or are you going to play him at all? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.